Hello everyone, I am Kajal and today we are going to discuss about the joints. In the last video we have discussed about our pelvic girdle as well as the bones of the limbs. So in this video we are going to continue with that chapter, and in this video we will discuss about the type of the joints, how they are attached and what are their functions. So joints, if we talk about the joints are the point where the two separate bones are meet to each other, means they are attached to each other. That point of contact is known as the joint, where they are meeting to each other. The joints, there are the three main categories of the joints are present. First is known as the immovable, second one movable, and the third one is the immovable, partially movable and freely movable. So three type of joints are there. Immovable joints are those joints those are not showing any kind of movement. Suppose the skull bones, no doubt in the skull the separate bones are present, they are attached with each other but they are not showing any kind of movement because they are totally fixed with each other and giving the strength to our as well as the protection to our brain or the cranium box. That are known as the immovable joints. Partially movable means they are showing the partial movement. Okay, small movements they are showing but they are not freely to move, so that are known as the partial movable joints. For example, our ribs, whenever we are inhaling or we are exhaling, they are showing some movement. They are means coming outward and inward too, so they are giving some kind of movement but not the free movement. So that's why that are known as a partial, showing the partial movements. Next one, freely movable. In this type, the bones are able to move up to several kind of degrees, means freely movable. Okay, we are able to move our shoulders at up to an extent, neck too. So these bones are known as the freely movable. We are able to move it up to a degree. So here are the few type of four major type of movable joints are there. First is known as gliding joints. Gliding joints. Second one is known as the pivot joints. Third part is the hinge joint, and the fourth one is known as a ball and socket joint. So let us discuss it within detail. Gliding joints, it occur between the bones of the wrist and also between the bones of the ankle as well as between the vertebrae. Wrist, ankles, these are present in the wrist as well as in the ankles because we are able to move our wrist up to according to our wish, okay, up to an extent, a degree. So these are known as gliding joints. Okay, wrist and the ankle ones and between the vertebrae. Next one, pivot joints. Here one bone is rotated over the pivot like end of the another bone. For example, the skull is rotated on the upper end of the axis vertebrae. This is neck. In the upper neck, as I told you, the upper bone of the neck vertebrae is known as the axis and the next one is known as atlas. So the skull, we are able to move our skull on a several degrees, and where it is attached with the axis bone. So we are able to move our skull with the help of axis bone. The skull bone is attached with the axis and we are able to move it on an extent. So that kind of bone are known as a pivot joints. These are one bone is attached to the other one and by that way they are showing the movement. So that are known as a pivot joints. Next one, hinge joints. These joints are moves like hinge in one plane, only just like a hinge or of a door. Elbow joint between the humerus and ulna, joints between the bones of the fingers, toes, and less perfectly the knee joint. The hinge joints usually give the sufficient power. Means hinge joints are giving the sufficient power. The humerus and ulna here in the knee, the bones are attached with each other and they are showing some kind of movement. So these bones are known as the hinge joints because one is attached with the other one but they are not totally embedded with each other, they are only attached with each other. So these joints are known as the hinge joints. Next, ball and socket. Ball and socket means here one end of a bone is sounded like a ball like and the other one means they are showing a cup like structure and other one is attached with each other. One is showing the cup like structure, other one is ball like, and that ball is attached with the cup. Here the good example is the shoulder bones. You can see that this is showing a cup like structure and this is attached with it. Here that is more clear. So this ball is attached with this cup like structure. So these bones are known as ball and socket joints because they are showing the free movement. We can move it up to extent. Okay, we are able to show the angles, several angles, as well as we are showing some kind of movements. They are totally free of the movement, but don't do any other hard things. It has a means a restriction also, that are free, no doubt of movement is free, but if you will do some kind of other things with it, there is sometimes there is the chances of the fracture of the bones too. So shoulder joints as well as the hip joint is also known as the ball and socket. Hip joints that are known as the ball and sockets. Synovial joints, the freely movable joints stated above, like a shoulder joint, the knee joint, and also called the synovial joints. The freely movable joints, okay, like shoulder joint and knee joint, that are known as the synovial joints, and in the synovial joint synovial fluid is present, that is giving the protection as well as the you can say for the freely movable, it is giving the some kind of elasticity to the bone too for the free movement. These allow considerable degree of the movement, and these joints have the two special requirements. Firstly, and they should be held firmly in the position, and secondly, the surfaces coming into contact should be well lubricated to remove the friction. The lubricating fluid wherever it occurs is known as synovial fluid, as I told you. So these are known as the synovial joints. Synovial joints, for example, the knee joint, it held in the position by the strong ligaments. So knee joint is known as the synovial joint. It is attached with each other, and you know that the knee joint is also protected by the outer cap, that is known as a patella cap, and here in this one the fibrous joints are present that are responsible to give the lubrication to it, or for responsible for the free movement of it. So that are known as synovial joints, and in this one the synovial fluids are present. Here one chart is given to you, means they have given you one flow chart classification of the joints. The whole joints we have discussed already, but if you just go through from it, it will be more clear to you. Next one we are going to discuss about the muscles. The muscles in the body provide the means of the all movements. So muscles are responsible for the movement of our skeletal system of our body. They cover the skeleton framework and also give contour, means shape to our body. So muscles are responsible for the shape of our body. The muscle had to maintain the body posture while sitting, standing, or walking, or the other gestures too. Most muscles are long bundles of contractile tissue, means in the bundles, what is they are containing the bundles of the contractile tissues. Each muscle usually have the two ends, one fixed end and the other originates and a movable end is present that pulls some part. One is fixed and the other one is movable part, that is giving the flexibility to our body for the movement. This movable end drawn out to form a tough structure that is known as the tendon, which is attached to the bone. So tendon is responsible to attach the muscle to the bone. When stimulated by the nerve, and this muscle contracts to become shorter and thicker, and thus it pulls the bone movable end. Muscles can only contract and relax, they cannot lengthen. So muscle shows the contraction as well as the relaxation. I give you one example of your tricep and the biceps. Biceps and triceps muscles are present in the upper arm, and you are doing some kind of exercises for them also, and what is happening whenever you are doing some exercise, at the same moment one muscle is showing the contraction, other one is showing the relaxation. By that way they are maintaining their movement. Okay, if by mistake or sometimes in the situation they show the contraction, means at the same time, then what is happening, some kind of fracture is there. Okay, sometimes you are also getting some kind of pain as well as pain is there. Why it is happening? Due to the contraction of that muscles at the same moment. So the movement of that muscle, one is showing the relaxation and the other is showing the contraction. By that way they are showing the movement. Sorry. Antagonistic muscles, they are moved in the muscle cannot return it in its original position without the action of the another muscle. As I told you, at the one moment they are showing the relaxation, other is showing the contraction, and whenever the both muscles are finishing their work, then they are coming to their original position as well as their resting position. So these muscles, I have given you already the example of biceps and the triceps. So these are known as the antagonistic muscles. Next we are going to discuss about the kind of muscles, voluntary and involuntary, and the third one is the cardiac muscles. There are three type of muscles: voluntary, involuntary and cardiac muscles. Voluntary muscles. Voluntary muscles are the muscles that are under our control or our will. They are working according to our will. So that are known as voluntary muscles. Involuntary muscles, the muscles that are not working according to our will, so that are known as involuntary muscles. Cardiac muscles are present in our heart, that are responsible for the movement or the pumping of our heart, proper pumping of our heart. So that are also involuntary in nature because they are not working according to our wish. So by this way there are the three type of muscles: voluntary, involuntary and the cardiac. Coordination of the muscle. Most actions in our body like standing, walking, running, playing tennis, etc. require combined action of the several muscles. As I told you, if the combination as well as they are showing some kind of connection, then there will be proper movement of the muscle. If they are not showing their proper connection or coordination, then there is the chances of the fracture, sprain in the muscles too. So and they are coordinating with each other and they are showing some kind of actions. Lever mechanisms. Now lever, what do you mean by levers? Movement of the different part of our body are usually made up of the easier due to the lever actions. In the skeletal system, the lever of the first order, where the power and the weight act with the fulcrum. You may have read about the levers in the physics too, where the three things are totally means they are totally affected with each other and they are attached. How? Power, weight and fulcrum, they are affecting it. In between, they represented by the extension of the arm at the elbow by the action of the triceps and cresting of the skull on the first, afterward the second neck vertebrae. The lever of the second order, where the fulcrum is at the one end of the lever and the power, and the other end with the weight in between, representing the gastrocnemius muscles raising weight of the body on the toes. The lever of the third order, where the fulcrum is at the one end and the weight and the other end and the power in between, represents the bicep muscle flexing the arm. See, so you may have read in the physics too, three type of levers are there: first order, second order, third order, and in that way we are only exchanging the positions of the power, weight as well as the fulcrum, and we are observing the behavior of the muscles accordingly. Whenever we are giving some positions or we are changing some positions of the power, weight as well as the fulcrum, then what is the action of our muscles? We are recording that, we are observing that. So in that sense our levers are very helpful and they are working accordingly. So this is all about the levers. So this is all about our chapter. Hope you understood that the whole things that we have discussed about the skeletal system, the axial system, appendicular system, levers, about the joints as well as about the muscles. So thank you very much.